Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today I'm going to continue with my series on my favorite cards in my wallet and just kind of going over and reviewing them. And we're going to discuss today one of my very favorites, one of the really most valuable cards on the market, the Hilton Aspire card. So please hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll get to it. The Hilton Aspire card is a big-time expensive card. The annual fee is $550 a year. And, you know, when you look at that and you think, well, what does that really give you for $550? You know, it's in the top-tier cards with things like the American Express Platinum and the Sapphire Reserve and just some of the airline cards, Delta Reserve, that just, you kind of think, well, you have to be a loyalist to get any value out of that. And when that comes to things like, well, airlines particularly, yeah, you got to kind of be a loyalist with the airline to get much value out of those top tier cards. But I would argue with the Hilton Aspire, the $550, you do have to put a little effort into it because you have to make sure that you're staying a couple times a year at Hilton Resort. Now, that's probably much easier for some people than it is for me and for others, because I don't live anywhere near a Hilton Resort. I got to drive like 3-4 hours to the nearest one. But some people live close to them, so maybe you could do a staycation and get that there. But I would argue that this card has some of the best return on that annual fee of any card out there, particularly because of the credits and the status and the free night. And when you add it all together, I mean, you could get $600 just from the credits back. You could get more than that. What's the diamond status worth? I mean, when you add it all together, you could theoretically get $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 in value back on that $550, which is just like the highest end of net positive annual fee any card has, potentially. So let's go through it real quick. It gives a $400 resort credit. Now that has to be used at places that are on the Hilton Resort website that are categorized as Hilton Resorts. Now how you tell that is on the app. When you look at a property, it has little icons underneath it. If it has the icon resort, it's a resort and it'll code. So twice a year, January to June, and then July to December, you're going to get $200 back on anything you put on your room bill, including your room, including food, including drinks, whatever, things like that. So if you use that, that's $400 a year. Now, on top of that, you get an airline credit. Now, this one's broken up $50 a quarter. You can either book an airline flight in that quarter, or you can put it in the United Travel Bank. I'm sure there are other ways to probably use it. It's pretty broad. So that's another $200. Right there, $600 back on the $550 annual fee. The third thing you get that's crazy good is you get diamond status with Hilton. That is their highest status in the United States. Many would argue it's not that great. And I would say my experience hasn't been super good with upgrades and things. But outside the United States, only people who live in the United States can get this card. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, we get upgrades every single time outside of the U.S. So you get the top diamond status. You also get to get into their lounges if you're staying at a hotel with a lounge. It's just really good. You get extra points, of course, and the earnings, the multipliers. I haven't really went over those. They're pretty good. You get 14x plus your status bonus on Hilton stays. You also get 7x on things like flights and things like restaurants, and you get 3x everywhere else. But I'm not really emphasizing that because that's not why I keep this card. If it just was those categories, it wouldn't be worth it at all to me. But that diamond status is primo. Then you also get a clear credit. That's it's all right. I mean, clear, I use it sometimes. My home airport doesn't have it, so I use my TSA PreCheck. But there have been a few times it saved me, so it's just kind of a free extra. But then the big benefit of this card is you get a free night certificate at any Hilton in the world if you're staying in what they kind of call their standard room redemption rooms. And pretty much, not every night of the year, But most hotels, including things like the Conrad and the Waldorf, even in places like the Maldives, those hotels are just maybe $1,000, maybe $1,200 a night, but you can get that room for free. So if you add up the value, this card has a value like hardly any other card on the market. So the Hilton Aspire, we have one, plan on having two, hope to have three, maybe four. I mean, I just don't see a top end of where this card's value is limited. And I love it. I'd have as many as I could, and we would stay in style and still get all of our money back and more. So what do you think of the Hilton Aspire? Do you have the Hilton Aspire? Do you like it? Do you plan on getting it? I think it's just a must keep in my wallet. So I love the card. It's one of my top favorite cards. Let me know what you think down below. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm marching up almost to 500 subscribers. That's kind of a milestone for me, so it helps me out a lot. Have a great day. We'll see you here next time.